All right, today I want to do something different. We're not doing any coding walkthroughs or anything like that. I wanted to talk through some of the techniques I've learned on how to meditate. And you don't necessarily need a cushion, although it helps. But basically you just want to kind of sit down with intention, line your spine up, put your head above your spine and sort of straighten out. Some people kind of like try to imagine the back of your head getting pulled up. Right, and just find a spot where you're kind of balanced, right, and sitting upwards. And once you kind of find a good spot, you can get ready to like settle in. We'll probably do like 15 minutes, maybe, between 12 and 20 minutes, who knows. All right, I want to walk through a short meditation. I'm going to time it on my app, so we can start the timer now. And basically, for the first 2 minutes, you just want to kind of sit down and stretch and find the position that works for you. And for me, that's kind of lining my head up with my spine. You can kind of imagine an invisible thread pulling the crown of your head up, and you kind of sit up upright. You don't want to be crouched. You want to be kind of giving yourself space to breathe. Give yourself room to have breath. And kind of take a moment to take in your surroundings. What does it feel like to have the ground and the pillow underneath you, or the wind around you, or the sound of birds, or people on the street, or anything like that that might be happening? Get a sense of the world, a baseline. And for me, this practice isn't really tied to a spiritual practice. This is just a bunch of tools I've assembled over the past 10 years that probably closer to journaling than anything else. But basically we're in a practice coming back to our attention, being in control of our attention and focusing on the breath. And we're going to begin with a body scan, and then we're going to probably focus on the breath for a while. Going to count to 10, and for me, breath count is 1 in and 1 out. So breath in, 1, breath out, 1. We're going to do a bunch of that. Probably do a body scan. We might do some kind of intention building around kindness. That's one exercise that really helps me. And then we should be done. It should be simple, easy, and quick. And this is made for you to follow along in your own time with kind of your own space to do it. All right, so kind of sit back, ease yourself into it, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath into the bottom of your stomach. And one easy way to sort of get reacquainted with your body is to do a body scan. So we're going to slow down our breathing a little bit, but we're not going to focus on it. We're going to sort of focus on the top of our head and imagine kind of an invisible plane slowly working its way down from the top of our head to our toes. And I kind of imagine it as in you're like checking in with old friends, right? Just seeing how everybody's doing. What's up, eyebrows? Been a while. What's up? What's up, eyes? Thanks for seeing. Really appreciate that. Hello, nose. Smelling like you always been. Really great job lately on the smelling. Lips, awesome. Great as always. How's everybody doing? Back of the neck, feeling a little sore. That's all right. Right? You can just kind of go down and check in with every part of your body. So let's do that. Let's start from the top. Crown of your head. Maybe you're checking in on your shoulders or your neck. You feel some tightness there. Maybe you just consciously kind of release it and keep moving on. We don't want to get stuck anywhere. Just keep moving. Shoulders, lungs, Thanks for breathing. Really appreciate all the breathing lately. Sometimes when I go through my stomach, I'll discover a bunch of tightness there or something. I'm not feeling good. I ate something wrong, right? And you can kind of acknowledge that. Say, okay, stomach's feeling a little weird. Stomach's feeling great today for me. Keep on moving on. Hips are feeling sore. Hips are feeling kind of tight. Maybe I should stretch them out a little bit more later. Feet, legs keeping me grounded. Maybe there's gratitude there for those parts of you. Maybe it's just acknowledging the service they give. Checking in with everybody. Everybody's good. Let's return to the breath now. And the goal for the next few minutes is going to be to reach 10 breaths. And you're going to say, 10 breaths? I do that all the time. But we're going to find our mind wandering pretty often, and that's okay. That's part of the process. But when we notice that, we're going to go back and start at breath 1. So breath 1 in. Out 1, in 2, the space you're giving yourself, you might find your mind wandering to things beside your breath, and you might not even realize it happened. But back to breath 1, in, out, in 2, out 2, and so on. And some of the best teachers say to imagine your mind as a sky, a blue sky. And as thoughts come and go, worries, anxieties, memories, just think of them as little clouds, right? Sitting in front of the sky. And you can kind of watch them come in from the left and go off to the right and float out. But they do not define you. They are not the sky. So when you feel a thought coming, you can just acknowledge it. That's really important. See that it's there. Respect it. I'm worrying about this. I'm thinking about that. But then let it out. Like, let it exist on its own, untied, untethered from you. So in 1. Out 1. In 2. Out 2. In 3. And it's okay if you find your mind wandering and you never make it to 10. But maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. It's like a muscle. You don't expect to lift every weight you see the day you start. But at least it's a goal to work towards. So let's kind of refocus a little bit. We've refocused on our breath, and I want to really focus on the depths of your stomach, right? And I want you to kind of imagine yourself as a vessel. And maybe you're lucky enough, like me, to be sitting in a sunbeam, or you can imagine it. But imagine that sun hitting your eyes, your head, your forehead. Imagine that you can absorb that. And imagine that golden sun, that light, is kind of running down through your body, through your throat, and into your stomach. And in your stomach is a golden ball of light that's slowly growing. And if you look at it through your mind's eye with intentionality, we're going to breathe. And as we breathe, we're going to kind of grow it. We're going to absorb the sunlight, absorb that positive energy, and store it inside ourselves, which we might want to use throughout the day or distribute to others. So for the next few minutes, we're going to focus on that ball of light inside us. Ready? In one. Maybe it's teeny tiny. Maybe you don't feel it today. Maybe there's no goodness in the world or in yourself you can find. So it starts as a tiny little atomic speck. And we're going to grow that up. Slowly focusing our energy until maybe it's the size of a grape, a little sphere of light, goodness, and good intentions inside us. As we let that ball of light build, maybe it begins to fill our stomach and starts to shine into the full vessel. Our full being begins to shine inward and outward. It gets bigger and bigger. It starts to envelop your chest, your arms, and suddenly you have a ball of light that's maybe as big as you are. And we can focus on our breath and keep growing it until it goes wider and wider. Maybe it fills the room you're in, maybe the clearing. Maybe it goes to cover the tree you're sitting next to or the building that you're in. If you have neighbors, maybe it's starting to cover them. Maybe they're beginning to be covered in the good light. And they don't even know you're doing this, but maybe they can benefit from it. It gets bigger. Maybe it starts to fill your whole block, your neighborhood. You can imagine this light centered in yourself, growing out. Bigger and bigger. And this light that you've built and hold in yourself for today, you can give to others very freely. And maybe there's someone you've told recently that you'll pray for them, or maybe there's someone that needs help, or someone that you saw that could use your intention, someone that you see in your daily life that you've never talked to, maybe your neighbor, maybe someone you see out your window. Just take a moment to wish them the best and to give them just a little slice of that energy that you captured. And feel the place where that kindness comes from, that loving kindness. It's not about that person, but once you give that over, notice the place that it comes from within you. and give that place gratitude and respect and intention, right? We can access that now a little better. Normally I'm doing all these things silently in my head. I'm not as used to saying it out loud. It's probably a little easier to do when it's not being mixed with language, right? That takes time and practice. And so we spent a little bit of time focusing on other things. Let's return to the breath. So in 1. Out 1. In 2. Out 2. And you could spend a little bit more time in this space, but maybe, like me, your legs are starting to hurt or feel energy, and maybe you feel the ground beneath your feet or your legs or whatever a little bit better. You start to re-hear the sounds around you, re-hear the birds that a second ago weren't there at all somehow. Slowly open your eyes. And you're back. And you did it. And that's about 15 minutes-ish of meditation, sitting. I try to do that as often as I can, and I would recommend it to all my friends, especially in the times when you don't want to. I always find that it's hardest to get myself to do it in the times when I need to do it most, so just pay attention to that. And maybe it's not for you, and that's totally fine. It's just like any other tool or skill or habit, right? It works with some people's brain chemistry and not with others, so take it as you will. But if you did hang out for this entire time with me, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. I hope you have a great week, a great month. You know, I hope you accomplish your dreams and all that. Take it easy.